I didn't believe in luck. Not really. I believed in timing, in effort, in probability. Luck was just a word people used when something worked out in a way they couldn't understand. That's what I told myself. That's what I believed. Until the night everything went right. I remember exactly where I was, sitting alone in my apartment, watching the lottery draw on TV. I had been playing for years. Same routine, same numbers most of the time. A habit more than anything else. I never won anything. Not once. Not even close. That's why I wasn't really paying attention. The TV was on. The numbers were being read. And I was only half listening, already expecting nothing. I almost didn't check the ticket. That's the part that stays with me. How close I came to not knowing. The first number matched. That happens sometimes. You notice it. You feel a small flicker of interest. Then you move on. The second matched. That's when you sit up a little straighter. The third. By the fourth, I wasn't breathing properly. My eyes kept going back and forth between the screen and the ticket, trying to find the mistake, trying to prove it wrong. The fifth number matched, and then the sixth. There's a moment people don't talk about, right after something impossible happens, and right before your brain decides how to feel about it. That moment is silent. I didn't celebrate. I didn't move. I just sat there, staring at the numbers, feeling like the world had shifted slightly out of place. And underneath everything else, there was a thought, quiet, uninvited. This wasn't supposed to happen. I ignored it. Because what else are you supposed to do with a thought like that? The next few days didn't feel real. Phone calls, meetings, voices that suddenly sounded interested, people who suddenly had time for me. Money doesn't just change your life. It changes how the world arranges itself around you. Things became easier. That was the first real difference. Decisions that used to feel heavy didn't. Problems that used to take time disappeared. I paid off debts I had stopped thinking about, bought things without checking prices, said yes to things without hesitation. But it wasn't the money. Not really. It was how things started to align. Conversations went smoothly. Plans worked. People responded at the right time. Opportunities appeared without effort. I remember walking through the city one afternoon. Sunlight hitting the buildings just right. Everything looking softer. I stopped at a crosswalk, didn't press the button, and the light changed. Immediately. A small thing, meaningless. But I noticed it, because it didn't feel random. It felt arranged. That feeling stayed with me. The sense that things weren't just going well. They were going too well. Not dramatically, subtly, like probability itself had shifted. I would reach for something, and it would be there. I would think about someone, and they would message me. I would make a decision, and it would work. And when you start noticing something like that, you can't stop, because it raises a question you don't want to ask. Why is this happening? I tried to explain it. Confidence, momentum. That's what people say. But deep down, there was something else. A quiet awareness that something had changed. Not just in my life, in how things happened. And the more I paid attention, the more precise it felt. Like small moments were being adjusted, aligned, corrected. Just enough. Until the first time something went wrong. It was small. So small, I almost ignored it. I dropped a glass, but I didn't drop it. My hand moved. My grip adjusted. Everything happened the way it should have. Except it slipped anyway, just slightly, like something had interfered. That was the first shift. Not bad luck, correction. And that night, I saw it. Not in the room, in the reflection. The TV screen was off, dark, and behind me, something stood, tall, too tall. Its arms hung too low. Its body looked stretched, like something had been pulled into the shape of a person and hadn't settled correctly. And its head tilted, not like curiosity, like it didn't understand how a body should be held. I turned. Nothing. I looked back. Still there. Not moving. Not reacting. Just present. Like it had always been there. And I had only just become able to see it. After that, things got worse. Carefully. Precisely. I lost a client. Then another. Money started slipping. Small amounts at first. Then more. Investments dropped. Unexpected costs appeared. Repairs. Bills. Mistakes. Always explainable. Always reasonable. But too consistent. Too exact. Like every gain I had made was being undone. One piece at a time. And every time something went wrong, I saw it again. In reflections. Closer. Always behind me. Always still. Always watching. Weeks passed. And then I lost something that mattered. A friend stopped answering my calls. At first, I thought they were busy, then distant, then gone. No explanation, just absence. And when I saw them again, they looked at me differently, like something had shifted, like something had quietly broken and couldn't be repaired. That's when I understood. This wasn't random. This wasn't life correcting itself. This was something measured, something exact. I started looking for patterns, and eventually, I found them. Stories, fragments, people who had experienced sudden, impossible luck, and then a slow collapse. Losses, isolation, misfortune. Never dramatic, always precise. And in some of those accounts, mentions of something watching, in reflections, still, waiting. One line stayed with me. Nothing is taken. Everything is returned. That was when the fear changed, because I understood what that meant. The win wasn't a gift. It was an imbalance, and something had come to fix it. The next time I saw it, it was close enough to fill the reflection. Its form clearer now, wrong in ways I couldn't fully describe. Its surface looked stretched, like something inside it didn't belong. Its face wasn't a face, just the suggestion of one. And it was still tilted, still studying. Not me, something around me. After that, things accelerated. I lost more money, more connections, more opportunities, until eventually, I started losing time. Days blurred, decisions slipped. I forgot things I shouldn't forget, made choices I wouldn't normally make. And every time something went wrong, it was there, closer, until one night, I noticed something I hadn't before. In the reflection, it wasn't always behind me anymore. Sometimes, it was where I should have been, standing in my place, watching the room. That was when it became clear. It wasn't just correcting my life, it was correcting me. The final piece came weeks later, when I saw the news. Another winner, same numbers, same night, statistically impossible. And in the photo, in the reflection behind him, it stood, still, watching, waiting. I looked at my own reflection, and for the first time since all of this began, it wasn't there, because it wasn't mine anymore. And now, things feel normal again. Not lucky, not unlucky, balanced. But sometimes, late at night, when everything is quiet, I catch myself looking at reflections, not to see if it's there, but to see if I still am, because I don't know when it finished correcting things. And I don't know how much of me was part of the imbalance, or how much of me had to be returned.